Very happy to see everyone today. I would like to thank everyone, especially Governor Arlene Capagao and Vice Governor Dino Basadre Jr. for their genuine services to the people. We have the same hearts and intention, reason why it made me #1 in ordinance making and top legislator of the province of Dinagat Islands. Moreover, our good Vice Governor, Dino Basadre Jr., for enlightening the legislative dragons and steering their efforts in the right direction. And the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and its majority group, Board Member Amor Altaria, Board Member Renford Fernandez Co, Board Member Ailong de la Cruz, Board Member Carlos Bua, Board Member Ali Aglawan, for always having the best interests of the people in mind. You are all fearless when it comes to the environmental concerns, social services, and other important issues that our constituents constantly face each day. And you never delay in giving the people what they are due. I would also like to thank the Office of the Secretary to the Sangguniang, spearheaded by Sir Dino Basadre, as well as to our employees and staff in preparing me to achieve the top spot in ordinance making. Ordinance for solo parent benefits will be our next goal, since it has now been approved on the committee level. We really need to carefully consider and quickly approve our legislators relating to social services, since giving the people these benefits is now long overdue. To honor my word and promises I gave to the people that trusted me, I will continue to serve the good people of the Dinagat Islands, especially my beloved solo parent, senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and children. I have polished implementing rules and regulations, the IRR, or Children's Welfare Code of the Dinagat Islands, and other programs. Since August 23, 2019, 2 days before my birthday, I have been waiting for the executive order so we can already implement IRR for the Children's Welfare Code as included in the 2020 fiscal budget. It took us almost 14 years to give social services for the indigent and the children what is right to be protected. It took me 100 days to figure it out through working with my heart, spiritual guidelines, and prayers. The way I see it, as of today, I do not need my job, but my job needs me. The people are relying so much on us as poverty, and needs of people are constantly rising each day. My accomplishment since day one as a public servant, I worked hard for every centavo of my salary to achieve, provide, promote our provincial programs for the people, from most outstanding local chief executive, presidential awardee, spokesperson of the President, SGLG Hall of Fame awardee, to #1 legislator and top in ordinance making. Will always be cherished as my legacy in the province of the Dinagat Islands. one can take that away from me as my lifetime achievement, and thank you. I am forever be grateful to the people and God for these unforgettable moments of my life. As a public servant, before we apply to serve our country and be elected, it is already the risk of our services to the public in trusting non-eligible people, because government can never allow us to hire more competent people to help us run our office, but the secretary and a clerk with millions of transactions for the whole duration of our term. That is why, as the Budget, Operation and Finance chairperson, I wish for us to have more lawyers. We trust in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan that will not be biased to protect all of us with the risks that we are facing each day as legislators. If we have enough budget, at least we can hire a lawyer with proper compensation to check, proofread, and give us recommendations of our legislative measures. However, COA circular stipulates we can no longer hire government private lawyers unless special exceptional circumstances may arise. Only the provincial legal office may advise us and all elected on what we need to do. Will that be enough? Again, my RRR for Children's Welfare Code in the Nanat Islands since August 23, 2019 is still in PLO. Instead of protecting our children now, iba talaga ay walang kasing-kasing sa mga bata, labi na ang mga walay anak, no? Ay kapitan nila ang ipati sa mga ginikanan. It's an old adage I just remember. For now, let us try to achieve good local governance, even if at our level, we are already recognized as Hall of Fame awardees of Shield of Good Local Governance. Based on my experience, my governance has already been validated since the year 2011 to 2019, even if I started since the year 2004. I have already achieved a lot before the seal, in fact, until 2019 as the last seal was delivered to my program. The municipality of Dinagat is still using my program. My thesis was approved in the University of the Philippines. Women Economic Empowerment. The Dinagat municipality experienced to help combat Dinagat. As to health, education, livelihood, protection of the environment, and infrastructure. Never will be attained without the concerted efforts of everybody. With those calendar years 2011 to 2019, we were able to achieve significant results for the people. Dinagat Islands has the right to be grateful to the 7 founders of the creation of Republic Act 9355, Dinagat Islands. Founders, former mayors Gwen, Ecleo-Pols, MDMG, Adolfo A. Longos, Altar, Alan Tu Ecleo, Lamberto T. Lamera, to Andre Bill A. Ladaga, Ronald O. Luib, thankful to the achievement of Honorable Reggie Amor Ecleo Alcarda. For fighting for the yearly citation, ordinance, even if we are not alive anymore. As the law overrides the veto to enjoy the presumption of the law in the Dinagat Islands, that we have indeed selfishly achieved dedication and is committed to public service in our constituents and our country. The Sangguniang overrides the veto because it is our mandate and obligation to preserve history and culture in our province. We and our families gratefully accept this yearly citation during October 5, reminding us of the heroic deeds and sacrifices to support the Public Act 9355, creating the province of the Dinagat Islands as as we thank the author, Dr. Glenda Ecleo, in making our dreams a reality and achieve a better quality of life. Again, I'm grateful to my parents, the author of the Public Act 9655 creating the province of the United Islands, former number 1 legislator of Surigao del Norte, former representative, governor, my mother, Dr. Glenda Ecleo, and our local hero, my father, Ruben Ecleo Sr. Without them, no provincial government or its duly elected officials, employees, and staff would have the honor of serving the people of the Nugget Islands. For now, let me call for unity. Let's join our hands together and one, do our jobs. May this serve as inspiration and learning to my colleagues. Where's the book? Yeah. Let us focus on the task at hand and our usual weekly business as legislator. I am formally submitting my submitting our annual report 2019 to the office of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Mr. Basadre. Thank you very much, everyone, and God bless.
Thank you very much, for Gwen, Ecleo-Pols, MDMG, for the privilege speech. As privilege speeches is an honor to and a privilege to every member of this August meeting. Will you be yielding for interpellation or will you be moving for the adoption of your privilege speech?
I would like the August body to adopt the privilege speech, Mr. Chairman.
So there is a motion by the proponent for the adoption of the privilege speech. As many as those who are in favor, raise your hand. Majority approves it. Thank you. What's the next? Honorable Majority Floor Leader. Suspension of Rule number 2, Section 5. Ma'am, we are about to pass the supplemental budget number 3 of current year 2019 amounting to 20,731,600 of the province of the Nugget Islands. Pamuntahan namin sa budget ng SHE, unsa maning 20 million, mauni ang para sa budget.
Hello, morning. Ang 20 million, ang breakdown ay may go.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Reversion of appropriation from personal services, savings for the month of September 1, 2019 to December 2019, amounting to 12,431,600 pesos. Then reversion of appropriation from personal services, savings for the month of January 1, 2019 to August 31, 2019, amounting to 3 million.
So, mga kailangan sa may gamitan na ito niya.
Ang breakdown na niya is for the salary of GO.
Apil na ang atong incentive or sa management.
Basahin lang ako ang proposed application. Under Sanan Office, other general services amounting to 12,531,600. Na-compose niya for JO salary from October to December 2019. Then part of ani po niya is ang katulilahang karadyawan na 10,000 each. Part ani niya.
Part lang.
Part lang ani niya. Kaya napagtay ko lang yun. Mauto na ako the additional augmentation amounting to 3,840,000. For additional sa 10,000 10,000 each
Katong
JO.
kagahapon nga ano i-approve.
Yes.
So,
Mao siya.
okay na ito, ma'am.
Bali, ang gikan ano niya, Vice Gov, from MOE na ato ang nakuha sa MOE na sobrang bali mo atong i-augment para sa additional na
Hindi,
10,000.
okay ma'am, naanad mo na siya ang items salaries o katong
Sa ilang
karagyawan.
karagyawan.
Kung saan na may terminology na to, ano, kana tasking pa na, bonus, sa may foreign na term.
About sa terminology is, diri na gid nato as the accountant ano to ba na
Hindi, mama na namang ipadayon itong tanang. Katong remember ma'am na, kaya sometime, years back, kami isang kunian nag-approve of 10,000, di ba, para sa JO, mga kalagsawan. Unya man, after a while, pag nirelease ay na, nusmil na lang atong na-release kay na-question of law na muna nga ipanguntahan na ron kung pasig mapalaw ang ato mga JO ba ng 10,000 unya 2,000 hindi. Kani klaro na dili ma'am na 10 klaro na din.
Kani 10,000, dili na siya mga sa una nga 2,000 each for gratuity. Pero ang contract premium siya ang pangalan.
Contract premium. So atong pasalamatan si Doc Amy ani. Kay mo ni nagsuksok, di ba? Nagsabot na nga imong suksukan o nang si Doc Amy.
Yes! Do your magic, Doc Amy!
Nagsabot ang tanan. Pero di mo mang yung i-ensure na na-contract premium kaya kami tamalatos ni accountant pagkabot sa December. So kanang inyong kontrata di o butangan ng provision dito para makadawat mo o display. So kana siya, we are thankful to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and to our administrator as well. And the governor, of course, kay gusto po na nag-jive karon ang governor's office, si Governor Kaka, and your Sangguniang Panlalawigan, and the implementation of our accountant, no, mo nang atong itanaw na daghang salamat ma'am, kay para ato ang muna-muna paningkamot, ng mayat na rin si Ma'am Shelo, pagkayo o tinarbaho, no?
GO receiving 300 per day can receive supposedly of 15,840 so 20%.
Wow!
How much more those job orders receiving 500, 700 daily rate. So that po kaayo dapat ang ilang madawat. But then our funds is limited. Then our governor dili sab siya gusto nga na ay pinhig na gamay na dako. So nag-across the board ta into 10,000 each para equal na lang silang tanan regardless of
na aming request na CTO na oblige mo or mo extend sa mga services even after Friday and even after 5 o'clock every day.
Oh,
So,
palakpak!
to ensure na mga pinatuwa sa structures at makatat para sa
Ato
panlalawigan.
ng overtime ng ligan karon na tulog papunta sa araw na diba? Kaya kung mapunta naman, diba? Pero rin po na ito pa rin kasi mabulot pamanta sa 15, no? 16 pa. So ato ng overtime na 16. Thank you, Doc. Ako na lang yung daw sundok na among Budget and Local Finance Committee na among kay letter sa amo regarding the purchase of revenue pick-up for Administrator's Office, for PICAO, for COA, and for Social Welfare Development Office. Ako pangatana is, ma'am, naman tayo budget na rin, no? Ma'am Shelo?
Thank you. Under supplemental number 1, ang kuan mga binigyan.
So na kung may query kagahapon, board member Ecleo, okay na, nga naipondo. So mura man na iyan.
So, dili dahil kuan na siya, Vice, under niya siya sa mga savings, i-augment niya siya sa appropriation.
So,
Under capital outlay.
So we need an ordinance for the application na before we could approve it.
But we have these vehicles, ma'am, ang purpose ani katong sauman sa provisional audit. Wala pa nato ng palit. Tapos, that was under supplemental budget number 1. And then there's a request for the PPR RMO na nasa the budget. The only thing they have na augmentation, but it was done even before, way before the ordinance was approved.
So okay na ni kung if we grant this. Katong pwede ni mo board member de la Cruz as to ano na naman si accountant, di ba? May query sa
Ako
ako.
just sa vehicle, ma'am, may ko pa naman siya mga high-end vehicle na mga 1.3. Okay lang ba siya, ma'am?
Yes, or if you could trace back before, we do not require Sangguniang resolution for days. But with the new guidelines coming from the DILG and DBM, we're compelled to make, to follow the requirements. And one of these is a Sangguniang resolution stating that the funds to be used for the purchase of such vehicle is appropriated. And then other requirements are the clearance from DBM and the DILG. So, natay sulat, pinaparallel nato na siya. But with our experience, we can secure the permit to purchase from the DILG. So, as the chairman of the Bids and Awards Committee, I would like to assure the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and as your administrator that all the requirements for the purchase of vehicle are being followed by the provincial government of United States.
Any more comment on that? You have no more query?
So, okay lang meron sa mga high-end.
Okay lang sa mga isa ng high-end, basta mga yung taog clearance sa DILG.
Okay, board member Gwen? Okay na. So the resolution, because you will be, that is part of what we pending queries from the local
Mr.
committee.
Chair, one more thing, if I could make some of the corrections lang siguro sa cost because we are planning to have augmentations. Of course, mahiman siya diyan sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan because based on our opening of bids yesterday, the cost for vehicles, almost all of the vehicles had failure bidding because our approved budget cost is very low. Kaya na mga budget na approved pa na siya katong karaan pa ang cost. No?
Yeah, tapos that's why you will be still augmenting additional funds.
Yes, and I will still, if the moment that we will be augmenting such funds, we will still be seeking for the approval of this August budget decision.
So, yesterday during the discussion, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan members has no query as to the intention to buy because we really believe that we need these vehicles for these offices. There's no problem with that, but the query more or less has been answered by the local finance committee. The query will member de la Cruz and will member Ecleo-Pols. So, more or less.
To make an addition as to the purchase of vehicle, as I was discussing with the provincial governor during the crafting of the proposed budget for 2020, during the hearings and discussions with the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, we know that we also need to purchase vehicles. That is why in the proposal for the proposed 2020 budget, na earmark Mr. Chairman ng budget in the amount of 6 million pesos. That is for your discretion if you want to buy new vehicle for the members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Because the governor says that she wished to make all the members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan be dignified, and as much as possible she wanted the provincial government would like to give or to shuttle all members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan with the decent vehicle that is due for you as honorable members of the
Wow.
That's why we have 6 million in the proposed annual budget.
Yeah, we will be discussing that for when we discuss the budget. Anyway, any more question on the local
Mr.
council?
Chair, magkano yung isang vehicle nyo? 1.6?
8,
1.8 mo, pero with the type of vehicle that the offices would want to purchase, example, the CDRRMO, the PSWDO and COA, The budget is between 1.8 to 1.9 million. We will buy 4x4 pickup. It will not be sufficient anymore. Wala na nagpalit yung big documents ng mga car dealership because hindi nila daw kaya ang cost. I think if we could buy a decent 4x4 pickup, that would cost around 2.1 to 2.2 million, depending on the specification of the vehicle that we wish to purchase.
939,000. 4 by 4, I don't know if it's 4x4. Pick up. Para mas dumami pa.
Then anyway, we will discuss that kung how much.
Ano, di ba? I said to you, 939,000.
Balik ako nung kubo sa list.
Imagine, 1.8. Kung imo-palit ka, madoble yung inyong car, you can purchase 8 cars.
So anyway, we will discuss that when we talk about it. Anyway, they are already discussing that in the Bids and Awards Committee. So if we can ask Ford to come and sell us 1 million worth, so we have 6 vehicles for the Sangguniang, new ones. Okay, are there any more questions? By the way, the chair would like to recognize the presence of the late Honorable Carlos Piboa. We are recognized for coming late.
Mr. Chairman, di ba mag-overtime na naman ang taga-accounting, jury, o ng budget? Ma'am, sa mga tabang sa taga-PSP sa mga board members, para mapaspas ang pag-overtime?
Natod ka painit sa ila.
Si Ward Ayong lang matulog kapitan.
Eh, gusto may ka madali.
Si Ward Ayong lang matulog.
Wala na siguro. Do you have any more question? Board Janitor, do you have any question?
Mr. Chair.
Ikaw.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I would like to also confirm kung how much yung JO, di ba, is 10,000. Yung sa regular, how much talaga yun?
Is 10,000. So regular employees and elected officials, we have the regular PEI that is 5,000. Additional PEI 20,000. So the PEI would be 25,000 pesos plus the collective negotiation agreement of the CNA in the amount of 10,000 pesos. So that would be 35,000 pesos.
So for regular and elected, for our casual, including casual, so the chief of staff and all your casual in your
Okay,
office
thank you, Mr. Chair.
will receive 35,000 each. Huh?
No.
But, kano sa mga ma-release?
But there's Mr. Chair, the PAI is prorated for those who were in service for 6 months, 4 months. 4 months service as of November, i-prorate na to. Kasi
Prorated.
na sila 6 months, hindi na prorated yan. Full.
And 6
So
months.
those who came into service on July, they will still receive full PEI.
So, mauning guidelines na igamit sa ikaw, no? Same lang siya
Yes,
po.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay na? Do you have no more question? Board Member Blanco. Board Member Blanco. Hindi mo gusto yun mo sa ako, papunta mo sa JO. Hindi na, mga dito.
15 lang yung
Board Member Boa, hindi mo gusto tasan.
Isip ko yung mga sa
Next year na daw yan.
Next year.
Pwede ba siguro ka?
Kalau ini board kalau imam, ini pwede 12. Sa JO, ini board kalau. Pamana na ang treasurer board siguro, mag-ismaili ka na imam. Sama. Di ka kaya.
Yes, support. Ang naka-diferensya niya is gamay lang mo ang collection na mo as of November.
Okay.
So, tana, kung doon na pa yung positive na response with the medical companies, basi lang. Pero kayo, so far, from the MGP, wala po sila information na gisend sa ako ang daily duty ka kalap sa ilang kailangan kamot niya makadugang kami sa mo ang collection.
Sige ma'am, okay lang. Hinahingan ka po kayo kasi kulitan sa mong minaw para makabayad.
Okay, katawa na ito, Lord Vilacos, tabang nagpumulita.
Mga sanag-sanag. Anyway, if you have no further question, we will excuse now the Local Finance Committee para sugdan na nila. Ma'am, ang amo namin, ma'am, ang forma sa kanang ordinansa, resolution, kaya usahay nga kay sundulunon, please coordinate na lang sa ila kung sa inyong gustong forma. Kaysa una dito matama kay utruhon, kay di daw mao ang usapan. So, please guide us as to what is the form that you wanted us to have. Mura gana.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
with regards to the procurement of vehicles, are we going to pass an obligation ordinance?
Later, because they have to...
May bago silang i-implement. So,
later na.
yung
Later
bago.
na. Ma'am, do we need another query, ma'am? Do we need to pass a resolution or an ordinance relative to this 10,000 pesos? Dili na kinahanglan?
I think the is already indicated in their contract.
So dito sa contract premium. So wala na yung kinahanglan. No, kaya kasi nagpumanig sesyon na kinahanglan ninyo at least ang walang ipagutanan. Kaya kinahanglan ang buhatan. Kung di kinahanglan, it's alright. So, you have no more further question to the Local Finance Committee and Administrator. We would like to thank you. What's up, ma'am? Last. Anything else that you wanted the Sangguniang to do?
To make it really safer, Mr. Chair, since what is indicated or stipulated in the contract is depending on the months, no, kung may yung premium. But since we are granting across the board, we might as well be requesting the Sangguniang. Anyway, it will not do any harm if we do it.
Yeah, that's why we are asking so that we can include that in today's session.
And we will intentionally state that it is an across the board.
Yeah, we will, so that there will be no more question. Is it that this fellow received this 10,000 when it's not due to him or her? She should be receiving only 5,000, 4,000, but she received 10,000. So because of the resolution that we made across the board, specifically or specifying across the board.
Yes, Mr. Yes, please.
Thank you. Will you please take note on that, Honorable Gwen, Ecleo-Pols, and Honorable Errol Conrad Cruz, so that we can more or less make corresponding resolution related to that. So, ma'am, thank you very much for coming. I know that your
Resolution to
time.
ordinance.
We will talk about it later in the inclusion portion. We will include that whatever is the form. As of this moment, we know that your time is very precious. You have to do your task in your respective offices. We thank you for coming. We are now discussing. So, the rules resume. If you will consider the request of Honorable Gwen and Ecleo-Pols for those who are in favor, raise your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. Thank you. So since you hear the 2/3, because the 2/3 of 10 is 6 as per Cadyao versus Appeal Supreme Court decision. The chair is, by circumstance, will call you, and you have the 2/3. So, okay. So we almost after that. Go ahead.
Objection, Mr. Chairman,
You may object.
because the 2/3 of 10 is not exactly 6, but 6.7, Mr. Chairman, and below says that the minimum requirement for garnering two-thirds vote of 10 members, it should be 6.6, but in parliamentary parlance, Mr. Chairman, that according to the Supreme Court, in the same jurisprudence, that it is impossible to have a vote of fraction, Mr. Chairman, because the vote should not be a fraction in the sense that it is impossible and physically impossible, Mr. Chairman, that the vote nor the person voted should be divided into two parts.
Thank you for that opinion. That's the old legal opinion. We have a new Supreme Court decision. Please refer Hapian versus Cadiao and the MDMG and all the provinces are following that. That 6.6 we consider percentage of voting is 6. But when you talk about quorum, that is 7. So we have a new decision. So the chair would stick to that because even the DILG legal officer was questioned by your presiding officer during the vice governor's week, and all the vice governors in this country is following Cadiao versus Javier because that's the recent position of the Supreme Court.
Mr. Chairman, the provision cited by the gold presiding officer in Cadiao case, Mr. Chairman, that is only an obiter dictum, Mr. Chairman, because the center of the argument or the subject of that particular case, Mr. Chairman, is not for that matter, but it is to decide. It is a decision of the Supreme Court on the issue whether the Vice Governor is included in the competition or included to vote or competition to determine the majority votes, Mr. Chairman. And the opinion of the Associate Justice Arturo Prion, Mr. Chairman, if you notice in that particular decision that after that opinion, Mr. Chairman, it is stated by close and open parentheses that citation omitted, according to the Supreme Court, citation omitted and the underscoring hours, meaning only those statements which is underlined can be the basis of interpretation.
Thank you for
That's
that.
why that is only an obiter dictum, Mr. Chairman.
An obiter dictum is another point as being stated in the case of La Carlota City, which is the basis of Justice Prion of the same manner. So, if you question the decision of the presiding officer as to that, you can always go to court. You question in the court of law as long as the presiding officer would decide that 6 is the 2/3, it's the rule so far. So 6.
But for me, Mr. Chairman, we will not vote on that matter, Mr. Chairman, although the chair ruled that the 2/3 of 10 is 6, exactly 6. Our position, Mr. Chairman, is the 2/3 of 10 is 6.7, and since we are dealing with legislation and in parliamentary parlance, there's no such vote as fraction because the Supreme Court decides or rule that votes could not be a fraction because it's impossible to divide a vote.
Thank you for that. I understand that the 2/3 vote is 6.6. Not 6.7, but in the parliamentary parlance with the decision of the Supreme Court, if we talk about percentage, you go down. If you rule about a question of quorum as to the number of present, you go up. That's the legal law. So, again, the presiding officer has decided. It's within the powers of the presiding officer to decide. If you are not satisfied with the decision of the presiding officer, you can always go to court and ask if the decision is right. So as for this moment, we proceed to the request of the Honorable Gwen and Ecleo-Pols.
Thank you to Board Amor, Board Aylong, Board Adlawan, Board 4 that is waiting also for the ordinance creating the Provincial Physical Fitness and Sports Development Council. That is for the youth. And Board POA for voting for the omnibus approval of the 3 ordinances, especially to the senior citizen. And the CSO is very excited yesterday, and they said that after 5 years, they finally have an ordinance na itagaan sila o valor sa gobyerno na Section 34, 35, and 36 of the Republic Act 7160 ilang ipaabot ng mga CSO sa ilang kalipay sa inyong Board Amor, Board Aylong, Board Adlawan, Board 4, and Board POA for including this for today. And I so move, Mr. Chair.
So there's an omnibus motion to approve these 3 ordinances that has been discussed several times. Any comment on the floor? Honorable Ford? No?
Mr. Chair, regarding for the 3 ordinances, the one with the committee, which is the Sports Council, as upon agreed upon, I already open.
And you're already the co-chair.
So that's the question yesterday.
Yes.
On the powers of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Federation President of the Sangguniang Kabataan, and with the creation of that Provincial Physical Fitness and Sports Council, being the SK Federation President, he will be acting also as co-chair on that Physical Fitness and Sports Council, and we clarify that. And as to the question on the support to the senior citizen ages 80 to 89, they will have a monthly support from the from the province shall offer. So we have already validated that we have a budget for that. And 80 years old, how much again is the
500 a month.
500 pesos a month.
So the ordinance states that 80 to 89 years old will have 500 a month, and we already passed the 90 to 99 years old, and they are very happy about it.
So 80 to 89 will receive 500 and free movies. Because in Makati, they have 3 movies. Any comment for the more in that 19 CSOs, and how much is their allocation per
30,000 a year.
So we will get
The allocation, Mr. Chairman,
was that during the PDC,
is 4 million pesos under the PDC.
so that will be under PICAO, and they have allocation of 130,000 per year. So for maintenance and operating expenses and for traveling allowance for the 19 accredited CSOs. That 2 for 6 unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Nindot sa likod, oh. Likod. Para.
Amin na pagtala.
To consult the constituents as to what are the legal problems and how can the law be used as a tool for them to be able to access justice. The second part of our program, and this is why right now we have 26 law students, actually 25 law students, and one of the 26 member actually is a lawyer already from Saligan. The purpose is to be able to expose our law students to the realities, not only here in the Dinagat Islands, but the reality that there is a need to have more lawyers who are serving the people. And we would like to thank the people of Dinagat Islands for warmly accommodating our interns as part of this exposure program. And part of what they can do is that they can also do some consultations within the community level and be able to conduct some character trainings. The rest of us here, we are the facilitating team of this program, Your Honors, and we will also be doing some legal work here in partnership with the provincial government. So as mentioned by the governor earlier, some of us will be helping out in conducting gender-sensitive trainings. We will be helping out some of the senior high school students in their advocacy against online sexual violence and harassment. And some of us will also be visiting municipalities all over Dinagat to be able to do some consultations for the community forums that we will be doing. Particularly, we are going to 3 municipalities for this week. One would be in Basilisa, the other one would be in Kajanao, and the third one would be in Dinagat. So again, thank you very much, Your Honors, for being able to visit your beautiful province and for the warm hospitality that has been shown to us. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much.
Hindi namin yan nagbabasa dito na nag-describe what is certain places or specifically
you are all right. You are all correct. But it depends on, because you say prohibiting, regulating in certain places, in public places, so on. So it's just the same. It's all in the intention. Even in many places, for example, in Davao, pwede ka mapalit ng sigarilyo sa tindahan. Kaya tindahan, mas private mo na. Pag building ka, pwede mo sindi. Di ka hatakan ng lighter, kaya kung magsindi ka, pagpalit mong sigarilyo, na naman ka sa kalsada, public na. O di ka itong private na namaligya sa imo, kaya nisindi ka, pag step mo sa kalsada, kamang duha ang tag-iya sa tindahan ng ikaw ang penalty, ma-penalize. Duha mo, dapon tong tag-iya sa tindahan, dili na siya pwede mamaligya at sigarilyo, mo natigil siya mabutat, pusporo o lighter. Kaya duha naman mo, kaya alaw man mo nga manigarilyo siya. Mapalit ka, pero dili ka pwede mo sindi. Ito, ignon ka niya nga, palit kang pusporo, palit kang lighter, palit kang sigarilyo, ayaw sindi na rin. Kaya in-step mo diha, public place na dakop takduha.
So, Mr. Chairman, speaking on the title alone, Mr. Chairman, an ordinance prohibiting, tanggalin natin muna itong Diyos. Dito tayo sa sale. An ordinance prohibiting the sale, distribution, and advertisement of cigarettes in certain places. Ano ba ang certain places dito? Dahil, as what I have understand, Mr. Chairman, ang certain place na dinidescribe dito ay itong enclosed or partially enclosed public places, workplaces, public conveyances, or other public places. Ito yung certain places.
Pwede na ito ikutang na lang.
Mr. Chair, I would like to suggest, Mr. Chair, that we should put in the section 4, Mr. Chair, for the definition of terms, not certain places. What is the inclusion of that certain places?
Nasa section 5.
I think, Mr. Chairman, it's no longer to have that provision when the title itself speaks regulation.
Prohibiting
If the title itself speaks regulation, regulating the use, sale, and advertisement.
distribution, etc. ang i-prohibit ang smoking.
Because,
Kung regulating, tanggalin yung use.
Regulating the use.
di lang siguro prohibition.
That's why, it's up to you. Now,
Can I hear
there
the...
is a motion.
Can I hear
Mr. Secretary,
Mr. Secretary's one?
Ang sa akong point of view, duha ka buok ang wording dapat. Kining i-regulate na to ang use, distribution, and advertisement of cigarettes and tobacco and prohibit smoking in certain places. Kaya, kanayon mo, kung matino nimo sa prohibition ang smoking in certain places, kung i-regulate lang nimo, kung ka nga, o diha ka, pwede ka diha ha, pero kinahanang tunga ra sa sigarilyo mo hukton, o na regulation. Pero, kung i-prohibit yun nimo ang smoking, maunang nagkinahanglan taong smoking area. Kay in certain places, katong enclosed, hindi ka pwede diya, hindi yun, prohibit yun na.
That's right, Mr. Chairman, but it violates with the principle of one subject rule. One subject rule. Dahil ang maging subject na dyan ay prohibition at saka regulation.
Mr. Secretary.
Madam Proponent, what is your opinion?
I would like to hear the opinion of the Secretary.
1 minute recess, 1 minute.
Okay ba?
Diba tigray ko si Board Member Gwen, mag-congressman sa sunod.
Practice na teacher. Ang sama. Kay kanigil ding kuan, regulating, prohibiting na dita.
Kung prohibiting man god, maamong ang sale.
So, unsa man jud?
Regulating lagi itong sale and use, and then ang smoking na i-prohibit. Dili man makabayulit.
Kasi ginagaay ko, maayo.
What idea mo?
Oh, nana. Ito ang kuan ng maayong English.
Session resume. In a way, to be able for us to really get the right terminology, the chair would like to refer the matter to the provincial legal office, and next regular session we will decide what is the opinion relative to regulating and prohibiting and the title.
There should be a motion to extend the
Period of amendment.
Period of amendment.
Yeah, any motion for that?
Mr. Chairman, I move for the extension of the period of amendment.
So the period of amendment will be extended, and that the matter will be referred to the provincial legal office for the right terminology in coining the right title of the ordinance order. Next, Mr. Leader. Do we have, can we go first with the Montag, if they're here, so that they can go home?
Mr. Chairman, I move for the resumption of the suspension of the law so that we can entertain our visitors.
Only one. Wala naman problema. This Montag Credit Cooperative, they have complete, you have,
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
they have complete documents.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So,
already reviewed by the
pwede ba na ito asaman ang Montag Multipurpose Cooperative? Dali ko sir, ilan ta sa rules suspended. Entertainment or other services. It also includes outdoor spaces where facilities are available for the public or where a crowd of people would gather, such as but not limited to playgrounds, sports grounds or centers, church grounds, health, hospital compounds, transportation, terminal, markets, park, resort, walkways, entranceways, waiting areas, and the like. So, is specified in section I that relative to the definition of term on public
There
places.
is still JKLN. A to M.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
Under section 4. And there is also...
I think, Mr. Chairman, we discussed so much on the content of the ordinance, and by that, I move for the termination of the discussion, Mr. Chairman, to proceed with the amendment period.
I think the discussion has been ended and the period of amendment has been open.
Okay.
So any amendment?
Mr. Chairman.
Honorable De La Cruz?
Amendment, Mr. Chairman, in section 8 for the violation, because imprisonment not exceeding 1 year is, this is so very against
This
by
is just,
the human rights, Mr. Chairman.
Under
You
the-
pay 2.5 or you select to be in prison. That's the penalty.
5,000, Mr. Chairman, plus and in a
Third
community service,
Third man.
Where is that? You're referring to
section 8,
section 8, paragraph
B.
Penalties.
B.
Paragraph, we start with the paragraph A.
Paragraph A.
Paragraph
This is violation of section 5A and 6. What is section 5A and 6? And section 5A is smoking in enclosed or partially enclosed public places, workplaces, public conveyances, and other public places as defined in section 4. So, if you will violate, you smoke in public transportation, public places, you will pay based on section A of section 8, paragraph A, and violation of section 6, duties and obligation of person in charge. Prominently post and display no smoking signages in location most visible to the public in the areas where smoking is prohibited, including vehicles. All at the very least, as no smoking sign must be posted in the entrance of the area. No smoking sign shall be at least 8 by 16 inches and in size and size, and the international no smoking symbol shall occupy no less than 70% of the signage, and the remaining lower 30% of the signage shall show the following information. Strictly no smoking as per ordinance number. Violators can be fined up to 5,000. Report violation to the PNP. So what is your proposed amendment, Honorable De La Cruz?
Because these are the violations according to...
Yeah, there's a proposal from Honorable De La Cruz. What is your, in paragraph A, what is
paragraph
your?
15, Mr. Chairman, for the third offense, we have 2,500.
Section 8,
Yes.
penalties under C, violation of section 5, E, F,
And 6.
and
So
G.
what is your proposal?
2,500 plus community service only. Not imprisonment.
Or money.
Section 8.
2.5 or imprisonment. So you
With community service, Mr. Chairman, 1 day community service.
So meaning or community service, 1 day community service.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So
Not imprisonment, Mr. Chairman.
You have to select, you pay 2.5 or you pay
2,500 plus community service.
Hindi,
you
nakalagay
pay.
kasi dito.
So there's an amendment, proposed amendment by Honorable De La Cruz that on section 8, paragraph A, the third and subsequent offenses, the penalty will be 2.5 plus 1 day community service if you are a perennial recidivist. You have been offending for more than 3 times already or 3rd time. So, any comment on that?
Ang gusto mo, 2.5 lang.
2.5 plus.
2.5 plus
Plus community service and no imprisonment. It depends on the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. I am amenable ako.
in third and subsequent offenses, in the letters of this ordinance, 2-5 or imprisonment. If you pay 2-5, no more imprisonment. If you don't have 2-5, you will be imprisoned, not exceeding 6 months, or both, or parehas.
At the discretion.
At the discretion of the court. Bakit ng the court eh?
So bayad muna.
2-5.
Kung makabayad ka ng 2-5,
Wala na.
Wala na.
So,
ang gusto niya,
Napaka-community service.
wala na iyahalang kahit ka 2-5 mag-community service. Kawa na yung preso.
And the
Hindi ka bayad.
And that was with Mr. Chairman, penalties plus community service.
Hindi ka bayad ng 2-5.
Preso.
Huwag may nagasulat.
Service yan. Community service yan po siya. So, alam mo na ito, nag-2 days kung isa kabayan ng 2-5.
Patay.
2 days, 2 days community service.
wala siguro yung community service, Mr. Chairman. Wala siguro yung community service dahil, halimbawa, mayor yung nahuli. Ang ibig mo bang sabihin, magbayad ng 2-5 ang mayor at saka mag-community service pa ang mayor?
No!
Yes.
That applies to everybody.
Huwag na yung community service. Tama na bang or imprisonment.
Community service na ka?
How many days?
1 day community service. So, di siya kabayan ng 2-5, so 2 days community service.
So wala na preso.
Wala na yung preso.
Okay,
Wala na yung mga. So yung papato na 2 days community service lang, hindi ka bayad ng 2-5.
Akala ko
Mr.
5
Chair.
days.
Mr. Chair.
My legal opinion ng community service is not applicable in the
Opinion as meron na
Pero na-follow man siya sa Davao City, sir.
Manila.
Oo. I-arrest ka sa ilahang, kung saan ilahang media.
Pagtraberes man sa Sangguniang
kailangan
wala sa
NGO,
government
no?
code. Wala.
Imprisonment. Kung wala ang galang, imprisonment na natin in 1 day. Kung di ka meron ng 2-5,
imprisonment not exceeding 6 months. So pwede ka mapreso 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or 5 months and 29 days. Pwede ka mapreso, hindi ka kabayad ng 2-5.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Nakabutang na ko diri at the discretion of the court.
Pwede man ka mabayad,
And
hindi na
or-
ka kaso. Kung pukaso ka, kaya man ka na, idakop ka na sigarilyo ka, for example, sa imong balay, idakop ka sa imong balay. Kung naman, pagtabok mo sa kalsada, gawas ka sa inyong balay, idakop ka sa police, kaya sigarilyo ka. Kung yan i-atras ka may private naman, sa mo pa ng balay. Ano nang magkorte mo? Hindi mo ba? Scan ka sa kalsada, sa police. Pagkakita mo sa police, i-atras ka, idakop ka sa police. Alam niyo kasi, pagkaso na, marami ng kason. Marami ng kaso. Kahit mga nahuli na, sabihin pa, hindi, yung smoking ay...
Loopholes yan, loopholes.
Ako klaro, because I have sad experience, no? Bisaya man na to. Namatay akong brother. My brother is a fireman. So dagang mga fireman o police, ngadto sa amo. Kunya kay dagan man sila manigarilyo sa among gate, dito man. So, ang gatong police nga bag-o, nga buong gamay, gidakop tong giwarning nga dili manigarilyo niya. Ako ang pugingan ay mo panigarilyo sa sulod dito ra mo sa kilid namo. Kunya ko bandagan man. So gidakop sa police tong ako ang amigo, agisita. Ako giadto ang police, no? Niya. Nag-away is police. No, kaya iyang i-impose yun kuan nga nag-smoke sila sa public place. Yun nga, yung public place, kasi sunod man sa among gate. So, dito lang sa gawa sa among balay, sunod sa among gate. Pero, private man, kunya man kay step man ang uban dito sa dance, gawa sa among gate, linya man, tunga-tunga. So, ngayon siya, public na kay ang naanaman mo sa daan. Ako kailan nga, ako man ang daan, wapa man ang nanadunit. Ako man ang daan, wapa man ang nanadunit. Private man eh. Muna, pag yun, magkaso, bubayad kang penalty o magkaso, pero tuwa na sa patabato itong pulis karon nalapay na. apunta ko di pa ba, no? Last year. So yun ba? Eh, when you go to court, it's up to you, no? It's up to you muna siya. So kung sa may final namin yan, Board de la Cruz.
Mawala na dito, dili siya na og 6
Reason.
months imprisonment for the community service as per
So, any more amendments? So, Honorable de la Cruz. Gusto niyo mag-preso yun?
Yes. We have to impose this kind of laws here in Ginagawa Islands. Kung hindi, wala talaga mangyayari. Kasi pag sinabi mo ipa-community service, okay naman na, community service naman na, sige lang residence mo. So walang fear, walang...
Si daddy mo nag-smoke pa?
Wala.
Okay.
For 10 years na, hopefully. That's good. So hindi po
So, si Tita Gwen mo ang mahuli?
Oo, tsaka kung naman kita. And also,
That's nice, okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh. Last. Okay, last on this item. So that I will leave you decide.
Okay. I am now moving, Mr. Chairman, for amendment by addition, Mr. Chairman, that after Section 19, there shall be Section 20 that provides designated smoking area.
But before that, we will tackle first the issue that presented by the Honorable de la Cruz, that instead of imprisonment, he wanted community service. So to end up, I will like to submit to you, for those who want community service instead of imprisonment, raise your hand.
So, Mr. Chairman, padulong mo po sa tuwa?
That's why instead of community service, those who want community service, raise your hand. Those who want imprisonment and penalty, raise your hand. So meaning the penalty will be remain as it is. Next item, Honorable Abis. Your section 20 would be amendment by addition, by adding section 20. What is that?
Just a minute, Mr. Chairman. Okay, ako tong
It's alright. Any more comment? So that 23? Yeah, Honorable Alcaren.
I agree with the proposal of the amendment of the Honorable Abby to provide another section for the DSAs and to anchor this standards for DSAs on the Executive Order 26 of the
So that for us to be able to discuss it properly, you have to anchor that to the executive order. You have to look at the provisions also on the sizes of DSA. For example, in Capitol Compound, where is the DSA located? So to be able to further discuss that, can we form the smokers committee so that they will study on the DSA? I would like to request that that will be spearheaded by the Honorable Noli Abis, Alcaria, de la Cruz. The three of them will identify the DSA in Capitol. And we will discuss that next regular session.
That will be included in the amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, that's why.
So then the amendment, Mr. Chairman, shall be read as follows.
Go ahead.
That Section 20, instead of Section 20 in the original version of the ordinance provides for funding, but the amendment states that Section 20 shall be the designated smoking area. That statement shall be read as follows. Consistent with the provision or consistent with Executive Order number 26 dated when? Dated
November 3, 2017.
dated May
November 3,
2017 by no less than the President of the Republic of the Philippines. a designated smoking area shall be provided by the owner or person in charge of the establishments. Yan na.
And that will follow according to the standard of designated smoking areas. Because you have defined already, no?
Okay, oh. Kaya,
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
the section 20 is for funding. So an initial funding to defray the expenses necessary for or incidental to the implementation of this ordinance in the amount of 1 million pesos shall be sourced from the Peace and Order Fund and is hereby allocated every year. Thereafter, at least shall automatically be included in the annual budget of the province of the implementation of enforcement of this ordinance based on the province plans and programs. The above expenses include but are not limited to A, B, C, D, E. So
that's why
the amendment of Honorable Abis, if I could this to the plenary, Amendment 21 na lang siguro yan. Then we will move to Section 22 as the repeating clause, 23 as separability clause, and 24 as effectivity.
That's why, Mr. Chairman, the funding, Mr. Chairman, the provision for funding, it shall be on the last portion of the ordinance. So that's why I am moving for an amendment, not by addition, Mr. Chairman, but by insertion, Mr. Chairman, that section 20 shall be inserted.
21 na lang siguro?
Hindi, dahil itong funding, maging 21 ito.
Okay.
So there's a proposal to insert amendment by addition through insertion. Section 20 will be moved to 21.
Yes.
And section 20 will be on the designated smoking area. And in line with that, did we pass an ordinance before designating the barangay councils to identify smoking areas in every barangay? And in the amendment by addition, we are now imposing that those owners of the establishment shall provide smoking areas. And for, of course, the capital being as under the executive, it should be the governor that will be the one to for assign designated smoking areas. Is that so? Am I clear?
Pardon, Mr. Chairman.
If we will approve the designated smoking areas as part of Section 20, we are saying that the Chief Executive, being here, the Chief Executive, should implement the designated smoking areas.
Yes.
Based on the national standard, based on the size, based on the distance, and so on. So it should be 10 meters away from hallways, it should be 10 meters away from exit, entrance, it should be not be in a park, and so on.
So when it is a public buildings, Mr. Chairman, the head of agency.
Yeah, will be the one to put the smoking area. Anyway, please refer to the executive order relative to designated smoking areas.
The owner or the person in charge of the operation of establishment,
the person
or
in
the head
authority
of agency in the case of public buildings shall designate shall provide the designated smoking areas.
In the PWH, they have smoking area in the PWH.
I don't know.
In the ENR, they do have in their building. Smoking.
Wala pa. Lahat, ay, meron na pala sa DNR, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Nabasa ko yan.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth Sangguniang Panlalawigan through this representation have already passed an ordinance on DSAs, and if I can remember, we have DSAs, we have assigned for the barangay LGU to identify DSAs except for barangay poblacion here in San Jose.
except for barangay poblacion.
Murag mo na akong mahinungdulan, Mr. Chairman.
Anyway, we can always refer to the ordinances that we have approved. Anyway, if we can approve any more amendment on this, I'd like to submit to you Section 20 as part of the amendment on designated smoking areas. How many are those who are in favor that we will be incorporating Section 20 on the SAH? Raise your hand. Amendment is hereby approved.
Further amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
The term used, Mr. Chairman, in the title, as well as in Section 1, in the title only, Mr. Chairman, shall be substituted with the term smoking. Because use in this ordinance referring to a cigarette. And I think the appropriate term as far as cigarette is the subject of the ordinance is smoking, Mr. Chairman. So, to read us an ordinance prohibiting the smoking, sale, so yan lang.
Or the right terminology would be an ordinance regulating the use, sale, not prohibiting. So that it would be fitting, regulating the use. So meaning we regulate the use, we regulate the sale, the distribution, because it's not totally...
I subscribe, Mr. Chairman.
So we will tell the ALG that the ordinance is not prohibiting but rather regulating. I don't know, if it's up to you.
Kuan kasi, yung an ordinance prohibiting, kasi meron siyang prohibiting, meron siyang sa sales, distribution, advertisement, cigarettes, and other tobacco.
I think,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman, the opinion of the presiding officer is right. Because even this ordinance or even this time, there's still existing sale of cigarettes in several places or in different areas. If we are going to prohibit them, ano kaya ang mangyari? Kung prohibition dito, dahil prohibiting the sale. So tama lang siguro na regulating.
Any comment on that, proponent? What is your opinion?
Kasi yung naka-enclose dito kasi, yun yung prohibition.
Baka magalit si Anyo sa atin kung baguhin yung kanyang title.
Mr. Chairman, I think...
Template kasi ito ng World Health Organization.
And they have many lawyers. Maybe they have intentions on what really they wanted us to pass.
So,
but on our case,
it's
up to you. You are the legislators. What is your opinion?
Mr. Chairman, one of... Mr. Chairman,
kasi yung ano niya talaga.
Yeah.
In passing an ordinance, Mr. Chairman, there are principles to be followed, Mr. Chairman.
Visitors to discuss with us about the COVID-19 in aid of legislation. We have invited the Provincial Health Officer, Dr. Jillian Francis Ely, the boat operators of the Nagat Islands, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, and mining companies.
Thank you. Can we have where is our provincial health officer?
Including Mr. Chair, the PDEA Provincial Director, the Director will be Tanya Aguilar. And we have also invited other visitors to discuss with us other topics also, like utilization of unused logs with the mining companies and the DNR, and also the schools division superintendent and company for the proficiency of every learner and to nurture a culture of reading in all public elementary and secondary schools in the Nagat Islands.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Let's proceed first to the first topic for the discussion of COVID-19 in aid of legislation. So, where is the Committee on Health? The last time we invited our provincial health officer, Honorable Alcaria, where is your provincial health officer? Okay, let's go directly to the point. I think the Provincial Health Office, together with the LGB, has discussed this with the province of Surigao del Norte. Yeah, can you please give the microphone first to the representative of the Mines and Geosciences Bureau in the person of Engineer Jacob. No? We will ask Engineer Jacob who please give the microphone to the engineer. Pakikuha na lang, Engineer. You have already discussed this with the province of Surigao del Norte. So, in the rules, because we are on the process of legislating that all boats coming from China, Hong Kong, and Macau, as per memorandum circular by our governor, should not be allowed entry here in Dinagat. If that is the case, meaning mining will be stopped until such time that the Ecleo-Pols virus will be solved or the problem. But I know that you have already discussed this matter with Surigao del Norte, and we have been enlightened by Board Member Alcaria last time that there should be a 14-day quarantine period in the high seas before they will be allowed entry to the Philippine Sea. And eventually, we are trying to legislate also an order, a resolution, or to pass a resolution that the barangay will be empowered to help the PPA, the mining company, the LGB, so that those people that are the crews of these ships that will be loading minerals in Dinagat will be properly guided. So we will ask siguro Engineer Jacob on what has transpired in the previous 2 days.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Good morning once again to this most office body. So, for in behalf of the MGB Regional Office 13, we already have conducted
before they stop the boats, or is this because I was absent last time? Is this the...
No, the last time we were, Board Amor is trying to find a resolution to empower barangays to help. At the same time, we are trying to find solutions because if we will follow the executive order to the letter, that there will be no foreign vessels that will be allowed to dock, then we will have problems. So that's why this protocol, although we have already the DOH circular on this, the quarantine for 14 days and so on. So that's why we are synthesizing everything so that we can come up with one protocol that Engineer Jacob said a while ago, and that will be used. Now this is consolidated from the DOH circular, from all the rest, and they are making also their protocol when the time that they will be handling this disease if there is any that would come out during their operations, they have this protocol as well. So more clear naman taliha. Unless otherwise, last Honorable
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This address to the MGB and to all mining companies, Director. So we already hear serious concern about this genius virus. And then under the Migration Act and regulation, an entry permit is required. Kailan po papasukin ng mga taga-mining companies o taga-MGB ang mga foreign vessels? Kasi yung Migration Act, sir, kailangan nila ng permit, and then this bureau release guidelines about entering all the foreign vessel.
So yun siguro, at least clear naman na ginagawa yung protocol. Yung iyong sinasabi ng board, they are considering all those, kaya kasama na ang costo, kasama na ang PPA, kasama na DOH, lahat-lahat dyan. So hopefully if they can come up today, if that to Dr. Gillian, anyway, Dr. was consulted also during the meetings because you're
diba? So this is very serious case. Kaya natuwa ko kanina nung nadinig ko na may mga ganito pag-uusap, I was really thanking the mining companies. Dahil marami tayong bakong tumatawag dito. Sobrang seryoso ang problema nito. Kasi kahit isa lang makakapasok dito, isa lang. Hindi na kailangan dalawa, isa lang. Maaring namimiligro na tayong lahat, diba? So yung sa mga problema kanina sa bangka, I really subscribe to the idea of the provincial officer. Kasi yung problema sa Libo at sa Basilisa, maraming barangay na nalaan yung bangka.
Strong smelling, so we would like the management to take care of the strong smelling in the CR.
Thank you.
Only to concord the appointment issued by the provincial governor insofar as the appointment is an appointment for a head of office. And it is within the reglementary period of 15 days that the Sangguniang Panlalawigan shall act on it, whether to concur on or not to concur. Ibig sabihin, ang desisyon ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan to approve the appointment ay gagawin whether to approve or not to approve, the same as to concur or not to concur, ay gagawin lamang ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa loob ng 15 araw. So ito ngayon, Mr. Chairman, ang appointment na issued to the applicant, Mrs. Angela Ilago, at nandito ngayon sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan para hingin ang basbas ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Tapos na po, Mr. Chairman, ang assessment and evaluation. Scrutiny, tedious scrutiny of the document submitted by the applicant by the Provincial Human Resource Development Office at saka ng Selection Board. Ang sa atin, Mr. Chairman, ay either to decide to concur the appointment or either not to concur the appointment. Sa tingin ko po, Mr. Chairman, at hihilingin ko sa kapulungan ito na mangyari lamang po na i-concur natin ang appointment na ito dahil sa tingin ko po, kwalipikado po ang aplikante para pamunuan ang isang departamento ng Kapitolyo. Sana po ipagkaloob natin sa aplikante ang ating basbas para po siya ay patuloy na mamumuno sa Provincial General Services Office. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you for that opinion. May we hear from Board
Board Member Noli, it already passed through a tedious PSB, mga ba? But will thus warrant with the Section 38A as to those qualifications, Mr. Chair? Pangutan na lang.
In my own personal opinion, the course does not match the requirement, so definitely she is not qualified. Because it's very clear there in Republic Act 9355 that he must be a graduate of this course. So if he's a graduate of Bachelor of Science in custom, then it's not being provided there. At the same time, I'd like to follow up what Board Member Apis said a while ago. He's correct. In fact, as I reviewed, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan cannot dictate on the governor what she wants because the governor has wide latitude of discretion who to appoint as department head. With that so, the governor, even if the Sangguniang would not question, as long as the question is relative to qualification, that's the only question that the Sangguniang might use not to concur. Nothing as such as if somebody will tell that the counterpart or the opponent to the position in that case is my relative, that's why I will not give my concurrence. The non-concurrence will not apply. The will of the governor will be the one that will be followed. That's why if you are going to recall, Mario Faber was given oath and signed his oath of office by then Governor Gwen Ecleo without the concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, because the reason of non-concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan was that they opted not to vote because they have consideration with then oppositor, now the one who is candidate for concurrence, Nene Ilago. By law, since Mario Faber did not sign a waiver with his appointment, he is then the legitimate, the GSO as of this moment, and he can file declaratory relief based on the rules of court section rule number 63. And I asked the HR if Mario Faber did have waiver. Mario Faber did not waive. So anytime the same argument that if you concur Ilago, you will be subjected to case. That's the same argument used by Ilago before.
Mr. Chairman, hihilingin ko lamang po sa kapulungan.
No, kung na-waiver mo si Mario, and that could have answered everything. Ang question na lang nato, ang transcript coming from Mandawi City College. So, it's up to you, members of this august body. It's all your decision. That's why if there are no further question or argument, I will submit to you for your own quotation if you concur for GSO, Ma'am Angela Ilago or not. I will call first those who wanted to go concur the appointment of Miss Angela Ilago as the newly promoted Provincial Services Officer, RESOLUTIONS. 1, 2, 3, 4. For those who does not agree or concur on the appointment of Miss Angela Ilago, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you. As before, the chair will give the ruling. The concurrence of appointee of the governor needs majority vote, meaning of all the members. All the members is 10, majority is 6. Today you got 4 and 5. The appointment concurrence must have 6. She got only 4. Therefore, Angela Ilago is not conferred by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan solely. Next. Republic Act 7160, it requires absolute majority, meaning of all the members, not only present, but of all the members of the Senate. We have already reference to that. Mr. Secretary, what is that reference number that I have discussed with you as to the please review. I believe even if simple, we don't have the number. Next item.
Number 8, appointment
of Ms. Jillian Francis Atienza Lee for concurrence. Date received February 17. I personally, as your presiding officer, I have nothing against. Dr. Lee is very good. She's very eloquent. She graduated in UP in her pre-med. She is one of the brightest in the country for graduating also in the UP College of Medicine. She has been appointed by the NCE, but reviewing because the PSP and the HRMO are not omniscient to know everything. They are not God that they cannot commit error. If you're going to look at it, what is the requirement? Not that I am against that the health officer.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
The statement of the court presiding officer is somewhat like creating bad conception on the part of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan insofar as the purpose of concurrence is concerned, Mr. Chairman. So, can you delegate that to any board member, Mr. Chairman?
What do you mean?
Can you delegate your observation to any?
Because this is because it was addressed to me as the provincial vice governor, the Transmittal. That's why when I reviewed, that's why I'm telling you this very simple error. Allow me to illustrate first. And you will agree with me. Simple kaili. And that's why this should not happen again, supposed to be. No? Gamay na kayo. Naingon sila dili, walay problema. No? The provincial health officer shall be, no person shall be appointed health officer unless he is citizen, of good moral character, resident of the province, and a licensed medical practitioner. That's good, kompleto. Pero ang sumpay, nara, muning mali, giunsa nila pag-review. He must have acquired experience in her profession, in the practice of her profession, at least 5 years. Gi-review man sa PSB. And when I look at Dr. Lee, failed to comply with that requirement because she passed the doctor's exam and was here on 2016. Nakapasa siya November 3, 2016 siya.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt you?
Now good.
Okay, sa madaling sabi, kulang ng isang taon yung service ni Dr. Lee. Kaya, ang appointment na nangangailangan kayo ngayon ng basbas ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ay a temporary appointment dahil special case ang medical, Mr. Chairman. Medical yan eh.
Kasi ang isubmit na paper is appointment of newly hired provincial health officer.
Temporary yan, Mr. Chairman, dahil kulang siya ng 1 taon.
Hindi na kailangan ng concurrence kung temporary. Why would we concur? Kung temporary lang pala. We concur permanent. So meaning, very simple. Kaya ang ako magot, nga wala mali na review ang tarong, nga nag-take-out diha with the governor, nga wala nag-ihap kung pila katuig. Diba? Is it the fault again of the chief of staff or those people working for the governor? They put the governor in hot seat. Ihapon lang mo 16 plus 5, 21. Simple mathematics. Anong yung mga papawawan sa governor na magtingkot-tingkot diha? Meaning, wala ninyo inyong trabaho.
Temporary appointment lang, Mr. Chairman.
Appointment of Dr. Jillian Francine, and newly
Civil service, Mr. Chairman, ang mag-determine either permanent or
that's why we are here to concur.
I-concur lang natin yung appointment niya. Yan lang. Anyway, ang final niya, Mr. Chairman, is the Civil Service Commission.
Yeah, we cannot. Because the transmittal letter to me was appointment as newly hired provincial health officer. So anyway, if we will write a letter to HRMDO. Anyway, this was transmitted only today. Dili pa tamulapsan eh. Kaya kung next session, it will be around. If the majority would decide, then so be it. But I will be submitting to you. Because temporary or permanent, if temporary needs the concurrence.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
See, if that needs the concurrence.
Dahil civil service lang ang mag-determine. Dahil kulang siya, hindi siya pwede mag-permanent. Ang hinihingi lang ng Civil Service Commission na i-concord tong appointment ni Dr. Lee para legal ang kanyang pag-upo bilang PHO. Pero as to the status of their appointment, tinatanggap namin na kulang yung service requirement niya. Kaya inaasahan namin na pagdating yan sa Civil Service Commission, hindi yan agad permanent. Temporary yan. Ang sa atin lang, to concord. Civil service ang financing niya.
The concurrence also, if that is temporary or permanent, the concurrence also should follow that there should be complete requirements because the law is silent. But if we concur temporary and we said yes, the civil service, we will wait for the civil service to tell us that.
Kasi, Mr. Chairman, special case kasi yung sa medical na aspito, Mr. Chairman. Alam kasi natin, mahirap ngayon ang mahirap maghanap ng mga doktor. Minsan ng doktor na magtatrabaho sa mga local government units. Kaya, ang suggestion ko ay pwede naman one of the whereas clauses, sabihin natin doon na tinatanggap natin na kulang yung kanyang service requirement. Kaya, we concur the temporary appointment of Dr. Ali. Anong ganun na lang yan, Mr. Chairman?
Why are we going to concur temporary appointment? Na she can act as OIC based on the appointment of the governor. Di ba? Bakit pa kailangan natin isubmit na hindi naman pala kompleto? Diba? It's up to you again. Ang akin is I want you to see it because I pointed it out here na kulang yun. No? Yan ano, ato mag-ikubos na kulang man. It's up to you kung mabuto, di ba? Now, I am again submitting this to you because you are the one who will concur.
Mr. Chair,
Honorable Ecleo?
for the 4 years experience as the PSB chair to represent the SCE, This is the first time that I encountered to have a conference for a temporary position. So, if the Honorable Office is asking for a temporary conference for a temporary position, I do not think that the Sangguniang Panlalawigan cannot give a conference for a temporary position.
Mr. Chairman, I do agree that this is the first time that she encountered the Sangguniang to confer a temporary position, because this is also her first term in the Sangguniang, Mr. Chairman.
No,
Because
I was the
she was the
PSP
mayor
for 4
during
years.
those previous years. She was the mayor of the National.
She to the PSB
I
representing
am the representative for 4 years
For
as
3 years you were
administrator.
together also.
Hindi, dahil yung sa PSB mo, hindi yan conference. Evaluation niya.
You
assessment.
cannot
Ang
confer
sa
a
amin Panlalawigan, ito
temporary.
yung conference.
Anyway, this is my understanding. If this is temporary, why are we going to concord?
You don't have
No,
to
no need to
confer.
concord because the governor has wide latitude of discretion to appoint. I said na, muna ako yung maiklaro na to. Kung dili qualification ang question, dili mo butan ang gobernador kung kinsay iyang i-appoint, iyan ang power. Ang sanggunian, ang imo lang question kung qualified ba based on the requirements of the law. Kung dili ka mo boto tungod kay dili kay nakailaing reason, di pwede na. Dapat bubuto ka based on qualified ba o dili.
Mr. Chairman, I called for the previous question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I am asking those who are in favor that attorney, that Dr. Jillian Francis Atienza-Lee be concord. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those who are not giving the concurrence, raise your hand. For no concurrence, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So attorney Jillian Francis Atienza-Lee is not concord. Dr. Jillian Francis Atienza-Lee is not concord by the Sangguniang. Next.
Mr. Chairman, point of manifestation.
Yeah, you can manifest.
The non-concurrence of the Sangguniang, Mr. Chairman, para sa akin lang, Mr. Chairman, para bang naghahanap tayo ng, for those who voted no, Mr. Chairman, para bang naghahanap tayo ng away. Para sa akin lang yan.
Thank you. They voted also
Mr. Chair.
during the time of Mario, they voted no. And that's why they made away with the previous governor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, because it violates the Ora-Ora policy, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, and the only person who can interpret Ora-Ora is civil service or law, or the court of law. You have 1 minute?
1 minute. Just to answer board no need for mangitag away, Mr. Chair. Wala tayo yung anak na point of view sa ito ang pagpunta sa no. Kaya nga no, it violates Section 36 and a temporary possession cannot be, you cannot confer a temporary possession. Yun lang naman yung manifestation namin.
We have decided already that.
Anong section yun? Section 36?
We have decided already. We have decided that already. We voted upon it. So the governor can always appoint. She has all the powers to reappoint. So, dapat sunod, if kung nag-insakto, nakaroon nag-insakto, if indeed the person appointed is indeed qualified. That's the question. So let's proceed. Mr. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Chairman, all the Philippines provisions, Mr. Chairman, so let's proceed to
This resolution from Nawab City, this is about what, Mr. Secretary?
This is resolution strongly supporting Senate Bill number 1030, introduced by Honorable Senator Rainier Marcos, and act further promoting renewable energy emitting. Therefore, Republic Act number 9513, known as the Renewable Energy Act of 2008.
Thank you. That letter be referred to the Committee on Energy. Mr. Reader.
I have three that I would like to take back from the table, Mr. Chair.
What are those?
One is proposed ordinance authorizing the provincial governor, Honorable Arlene Pagao, for the augmentation of funds amounting to 799,885 and 90 centavos.
Is the governor informed already that she has augmentation? Because that was the question before. Is she amenable with the augmentation? Or who's requesting that?
For the engineering office. Under the other maintenance and operating expenses from...
So if that is the request of the engineering and the governor is not requesting that, so we can act on that. We have to ask the governor's office. If only the engineers are asking and us not asking the governor, then we have a problem with that. It's the prerogative of the governor to augment. So it's the prerogative of vice governor or legislative funds.
At isa pa, Mr. Chairman, saan yan? Anong source niyan? Anong source?
This is the augmentation of...
It is coming from, or source out from the 2020 annual budget.
Because if that is 2020, our budget is not yet approved, so we cannot augment. So it is 2020, it's further laid on the table. Next.
So another one, Mr.
Go
Chair,
ahead.
is an ordinance regulating the sale, distribution, and advertisement of cigarettes and other tobacco products, and prohibiting the use or smoking in certain places, imposing penalties for the violation thereof, and providing funds therefore, and for other purposes for third and final reading, Mr. Chair.
I am submitting to you as many as those who are in favor.
We already had
Agreed, and
we
we
agreed for the title to be changed
with the provincial legal office.
for the approval of the third
Okay.
and final.
Or third and final reading. So the matter will be considered for. There's a motion and taken from the table that the matter will be. Was it on the third reading or second reading?
Second reading.
Second reading. I think we have read.
Hindi. Second reading pa tayo.
Considered mo nga second reading.
Yeah, second reading.
Ang second
For
reading
discussion.
Nag-deliberate na second reading, pero wala na itong i-approve on the third reading because we are not unanimous as to the title. So we refer that to the provincial legal office and they have already a title. So, but before we proceed with the third reading, what is the final title?
The final title is an ordinance sa una, prohibiting na to. Karon, an ordinance regulating the sale.
Regulating the sale as we requested. So any comments on that? So we are still items laid on the table. We are on the second reading. If you have no comment,
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
This ordinance was already submitted to the provincial legal officer for comment.
Yes, and they have a comment.
Tinignan ko yung pinupos kong amendment at nanalo naman yun. Eh wala naman dito.
Diyan na.
Diyan daw, pakigay.
Yung designated smoking area, Mr. Chairman.
So where is that? What is the...
Nakalagay dito yung designated, yung provision na magkaroon ng designated smoking area.
Kain na nito, board.
Yung after 19, that will be, parang that will be section 20. At section, itong funding na to, itong section 20 maging section 21.
Sige daw.
Yeah, we have agreed that.
What is the amendment again? Kasi wala naman na po rin.
Provision of designated smoking area. That there shall be a designated smoking area in accordance with conforms with the provision of Executive Order number 26.
So that was the amendment that we agreed to be inserted. That would be considered Section 20, and Section 20 will become Section 21. So we agreed on that, and we agreed also to change the title. Instead of prohibiting, we put regulating the sale, distribution, and advertisement of cigarettes. So, any more comment on that? Honorable Ecleo-Pols?
I have a question to the order of the ordinance.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, meron na school na malapit sa multi-purpose building. At during Christmas celebration, meron disco. At may mga vendors na nagtitinda ng cigarettes. Tanong ko po, kung meron bang exemption sa mga vendors na 2 nights and 2 days lang sila na titinda ng cigarettes.
Madam Proponent, what is your...
Those are cigarettes. Together with wines.
Sa executive order.
So ngayon, kung may bili sila ng sigarilyo,
Sir Chair,
doon lang sa tabi-tabi, sa gilid ng diskuhan, ay doon sila nagsisilbi. Paano yan?
Ayun yung discussion.
Mr. Chair,
I am addressing my question.
Anybody?
I would like to answer
As a
that
matter of
question.
protocol, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Madam Proponent, what is your
I would
opinion?
like to answer that question because this is regarding the executive order of smoking. Saan ka na ito niya? There's a section 5. Look at the section 5. Please read, no? Prohibiting acts. Nakabutang din nga, oh. Basta na ba public places? Pwede. Smoking in enclosed or partially enclosed public places, workplaces, public conveyances, or any public places as defined in Section 4. Mama ni mong pirmi pangutanan na
Mr. Chairman, the principle of the law, Mr. Chairman.
Can I finish? Can I finish, Honorable Maliabil?
That is in relation with your statement, board. That in every law, there is an exception.
No. He is finished. You may continue yours. Okay, go ahead. So what do you want now? So in yours, there is no exception. You are trying to tell Honorable
No, it's not that, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, what is yours?
It's, ito kasi December 5 pa pinapasubmit sa atin ng DILG para maging compliant tayo sa law under Executive Order ni President Duterte. Karon, balik-balik na bitaw na ito ang Section 5 of 4 atong nag-deliberate balik-balik na nato ni. So, unsa may inyong amendment, proposed amendment para mag-utang na lang nato. Kita man din masunod.
Ang amendment, Mr. Chairman, na exempted ang implementation of the ordinance to vendors selling cigarettes and those smokers not smoking cigarette within the vicinity of the gymnasium tuwing pista and other pista lang sinising tuwing pista celebration.
I think we are on. Can you refine it and submit that again so that we continually the matter of the table?
Okay.
Or you want it now? Because
Mr. Chairman, as the proponent of the amendment, I will submit a written amendment later.
Then you will agree that we will pass this.
We will pass this in second reading. Then we will submit this on third and final reading on the next regular session, waiting for the official copy of the arranged
Because the DLG has been asking this since December 5. But anyway, you are the legislators. It's
Because I
okay.
asked you nicely, kasi December 5 pa tayo pinapasubmit, I asked you nicely to study and give me the amendment on the calendar. Dapat last one pa. Karoon na nakoy bago, no? So, I will be very patient to you to include that one.
Ganyan naman talaga.
Anyway, you are both smokers, so you to be very patient also with this legislation. You welcome this
I only want to be compliant, Mr. Chair. As
I understand. It's hard also for you. Imagine you will be passing an anti-smoking ordinance.
It's very hard.
It's hard for you, I understand. That's why hard
to
for
be compliant.
a gentleman from San Jose because he is a smoker. It's easy for us because we are not. It's easy for us.
Bitter mo, bitter.
Yeah.
I subscribe to the opinion of the two proponents. Atin lang, maraming lang natin.
For finality, this matter, the incorporation of the amendment shall be given to the secretary and to the proponent. And hopefully, we are on the third and final reading. We will be reading the final version of the title and the amendment.
Secretary Chairman,
As many as those who would agree on that idea, raise your hand. Unanimously approved. Next, what is the other one? Madam.
Just for record purposes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to
Take back from the table. What ordinance?
The resolution urging the office of the provincial governor and the office of the schools division superintendent to order at least 15 days suspension of classes for grade 1 and 8 only.
Grade 1 to 8. Grade 1 to 8.
Within the province in response to the threat of the 2019 novel coronavirus, without prejudice to further extension thereof, as the chairperson of social services in regards to the safety of the children.
What is the opinion of the chairman of the Committee on Health? Are we already in the brink of the coming in of the new era of virus, or what is your opinion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last session, when we discussed this resolution, I voted yes for the approval of this measure, Mr. Chairman. But then,
now you are voting no.
My vote is still a yes because this is a mere request for the LCE and the schools division superintendent. But then, as per the SDS recently, Danina, there are DepEd memorandum na nagikan sa ilha from the national. So, it will be their discretion kung saan mas maayo nga himuon sa DepEd for our pupils and the students.
And if you will, in my own opinion, I am not citing any. In my own opinion, if we pass this, will this not create the question only of something like fear? Why is it that we are doing that? That's only my personal opinion. Masing mahatlok no Chairman.
Hindi naman yun, Mr.
Last year, Mr. Chairman, we consulted the provincial health officer, and according to her, ay wala tayong dapat ikabahala dahil wala pang income na nakapasok sa Dinagat Island. Tinatanong natin siya, kung gano'n, so hindi pala appropriate na ipaninto natin yung klase ng mga bata. So far, sabi niya, as of now, hindi ko pa yan i-recommend. Dahil pag pinasayan na resolution na yan, ang unang tatawagin ng governor, dahil nag-request yan kay governor ang unang tatawagin yan ay ang provincial health officer. Ano ba sa tingin mo ito? At nasabi na yan ng provincial health officer dito na sa ngayon, hindi pa siya mag-recommend.
And so is the provincial, the SDS also is not recommending that we will be passing such.
Mag-create yan ng misconception, Mr. Chairman.
Anyway, we can lay that on the table when we see it again. Then we pass it. Yeah? Okay?
For record purposes
Yeah.
naman.
So, yeah, matter will be further laid on the table. Next.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, for the record, it was not a proponent, sorry, board member for the not a proponent of the 1%. It was me.
Was it you or the committee on
It
rules?
was, Tony Ari said 3%. It was me who commented for 1%.
We would like to request the
For the
secretary you already sponsored the 1% increase.
For the record.
Mr. Chairman, there are cases that 1% is appropriate, and there are also cases that 10% is appropriate. Somewhat like the residential or the land or temporary land, Mr. Chairman. It is appropriate that this government will be enforcing 10%.
But what we have approved is
for residential, commercial, and residential, Mr. Chairman, the committee is unison for having that 1% because of the motion of board member 4.
Yeah, you are recognized.
Yes, for the record, the proponent of the 1% increase for the tax code is Gwen Ecleo-Pols.
Yeah, the Honorable is appropriate.
Thank you very much.
But the proponent of this revision is Honorable Aylong de la Cruz.
Just for the
Thank you. And it's important that everybody, we will recognize first Honorable Tulandao.
Walang debate sa valoration ng Chairman. Pero kung natin babalikan ang ating local government code, nakalagay doon talaga na dapat ang increase natin ay hindi sa mga provinces, where we allowed to impose 1% tax on food. Ang pinapayagan lang doon sa Metro Manila na 2%. Yun yung nakalagay sa batas. Pero nagiging 2% dahil doon sa SEP, nakalagay yan. Hindi ko lang paano yung saktong provision na nakalagay pinasa ko.
Thank you for that. Go ahead.
Approve na natin ito. Nalungkot na ako dahil doon sa pagpipili ng ginawa natin. Walang may hindi ang practice na hindi na rin yung nakikita. Pero kasi ano doon na nakalagay ko na from dati as isip natin 0 yata tapos naging 50. So, yun yung ano yung
Sir Chair.
Sila na-operate nila.
Sir Chair.
Go ahead. Next.
Since I am the proponent of the 1%, I would like to be included as the co-author of the tax code. Thank you very much.
I think it depends on the majority. You are not applicable? You are applicable?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Ako ang question of honorable Blanco, the mining companies for it's below to the commercial land.
Yeah, the commercial land is how much now?
36%, 35%.
But some of those areas are considered industrial as well, di ba? Sa ilahan.
Industrial.
Huh?
Mr. Chairman, the way I understand this, Mr. Chairman, this is an emergency for case in times that the province of the Nangan Islands has encountered a dengue problem. Ang sinasabi ay dahil isla tayo at yung mga ospital ay nagkaubusan na ng gamot dahil sa dengue, kaya nagkaroon ng emergency purchase. At ito yung pinakailangan.
Comment, because this is my first time, even if there's emergency purchase, there should be prior consent from the Sangguniang, unless we declare epidemic, and we have declaration before. Diba? The declaration that there was the epidemic by the Sangguniang is enough already. For the purchase, can we refer this to the legal? Kasi mapreso tayo.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Naana mi madam. Oh.
Hi, kain. Salamat sa paniuto. Salamat sa kalibre.
Ayan.
Hi, Kang. Thanks for the lunch.
Yes. Yan. Ginakaon na kamo kay di ra ba gusto si madam magutom ta. Yan po yung ulam namin, madam. May fried chicken po, lumpia, gulay. Ayan. Yan, mga ulam namin. Yung iba, may mga dalang baon na rice. Yan. Yan. Anong ulam ni Moti Cherry? Ayan, isda pala. Masarap. May adobo rin?
Adobo.
Ayan. Sige, kain lang kayo, guys. Mamaya na ako. Ayan. Gutom na yan sa Irish, oh. Dito kami ngayon sa Tamsi. Yan, Tamsi, guys. Maganda yung accommodation nila. Yan.
Yan, sa Tamsi, lilipad-lipad.
Dua galing ka tapos ako dalakan ko kasi diba sinuwakan ako.
Kaon lang. Kay mga mangita si madam kung kinsay kusog daw mo kaon. Nana madam kusog mo kaon. Sige na, maura to madam. Kay gutom na ko.
Salamat, Madam Gwen.
Okay.
Salamat, Madam Gwen, sa imong hinabang.
Go.
Daghang salamat, Madam Gwen.
We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family. Yay! We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family.
Remedios Maturan.
Salamat, Madam Gwen, sa imong binartdihan namo. Belated happy birthday, Madam Gwen. Daghan kayong salamat.
Happy birthday, Madam Gwen. We wish you all the best in life. Stay happy and stay guapa always. Happy birthday to you.
Pasang office kayo, ma'am?
Kailan na.
From PPGO family, happy birthday, Madam Gwen! We love you!
Happy birthday, Madam Gwen, from Aisyo Dinaga. We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family. Yay! We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family.
Okay. One, go.
We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family. Yay!
Yeah, perfect.
We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBR family. Yay! We love you, Madam Gwen. Happy, happy birthday from BBS family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat, Gwen, sa imong grasya nga gihatag namo.
Thank you.
Salamat, Madam Gwen.
Salamat kayo, Madam Gwen. Nalipay kayo, me.
Salamat, Madam Gwen, sa mga tabang.
Okay.
Salamat
kayo, Madam Gwen, sa iyong tabang sa
At yung magbugas.
So.